Well, let's move on this morning. We're delighted to welcome our next guest, Andrzej Cetnarski, named CEO of the Year back in 2020 by CEO Monthly Magazine. Mr. Cetnarski is a national and cybersecurity strategist. He's the founder and CEO of Global Cyber Defense Ecosystem, Cyber National Central, in addition to being the executive producer of the VIP Cybersecurity Blueprint, breach prevention focused executive training that has strengthened the cybersecurity of hundreds of leaders globally, from UN officials and heads of state to global CEOs, board of directors, entrepreneurs, you name it. The list goes on and on. Passionate about advancing cyberspace defense, as well as national security and sovereignty of the United States and its allies. He brings nearly 2 decades of experience as a cybersecure nation-building global leader and advisor to industry and government leaders globally. Also, as cybersecurity public-private partnership innovator, board director and CEO, turnaround executive, and as cybersecurity technology mentor and investor. He's a speaker and author in the areas of cybersecurity, future tech innovation, defense, regulatory policy, and diplomacy. He previously served as an investment banker with UBS Technology, Defense, and Real Estate Groups, as well as chairman and CEO of a global tech and hospitality venture. He holds 3 Ivy League degrees, including national security and cybersecurity master's degrees in public administration from Harvard's Kennedy School, finance and entrepreneurship MBA from the Wharton School, and Asian and European Affairs master's from the University of Pennsylvania Lauder Institute. He also graduated from the University of Chicago with an honors BA degree in economics. His global viewpoint has been forged by living and working nearly a third of his life across America, Europe, and Asia, thus bringing a highly global perspective to the challenges of cyberspace defense. Wow, what a lineup that is, huh?
I think he needs to get busy.
He needs a couple more degrees.
Step it up.
Huh? and we'll get to double figures.
Yeah.
Most impressive, though, most impressive. So we're delighted to welcome this morning Andrzej Cetnarski.
Hackers get 70% of their target information within the first hour of attacking you, making prevention your only real defense. Yet, it takes on average 6.5 months for a company to even realize it's been hacked. Longer for government institutions, even longer for individuals. Cyber insurance is nothing but a band-aid that will never get you back the full amount of the capital or time you lost in incident response, nor the emotional angst you, your team, and family suffered because of being breached, making prevention, again, your most potent defense strategy. Making matters worse, 60% of small and medium organizations shut down within 6 months of cyber attack. Worse still, only 3% of cybercrimes reach its targets via a technical problem. A whopping 97% is done via social engineering, exploiting human behavioral weaknesses. Forbes rightly concludes the best defense is the executive and employee between the keyboard and the chair. And indeed, at the heart of all of this is a culture of cyber insecurity that is still prevalent in organizations today. And that culture is driven by none other than the corner office and the boardroom of both government and private sectors. Between 2013 and 2018 alone, in the US, UK, and Europe, according to Forbes, more than $12 billion has been unwittingly sent by nearly 79,000 organizations through the successful exploitation of executives and finance leaders untrained and unaware of cybersecurity behavioral best practices. In addition, IBM states that the average financial hit of a cyber breach to the affected organizations, inclusive of everything from fines to lost worker hours, is a whopping $3.92 million. If you're a small organization, that's deadly. Unfortunately, this is just the beginning, as cyber attack methods, effectiveness, and number are increasing exponentially. As hacks occur every 39 seconds, cybercrime becomes the third largest economy in the world as of this year, at $6 trillion in revenue to hackers, and becoming the most profitable crime in the world. And as digitalization of our world is barely getting started. With this real state of cybercrime and prevention the only real defense, as I welcome you to America's Future Series International Cybersecurity Innovation Summit in partnership with Cyber Nation Central, I also invite you and challenge you to think of your own organizational vulnerabilities, not just from the standpoint of technicalities and technology, but rather from the much more deadly human vulnerabilities, starting with your own as the leader and culture setter for not only your organization, but also your family. I also invite you to think of cybersecurity as lockstep necessity that literally trails every single bit of your digitalization of your organization. As you challenge your team to translate every bit of your physical organization into its cyber replica, or else suffer your competition doing that ahead of you, start to think of the relationship of physical to digital to cyber secure as a one-to-one-to-one relationship. Because anything short of that leaves your legacy cyber insecure and only fuels the $6 trillion cybercrime market and your own extinction prospects. And within that context, I also urge you to do what most organizations leaders do not. And that is to think of your organization's cybersecurity in 3 layers: network, overall employee cybersecurity, and the cybersecurity of your organizational VIPs, including you, your board of directors, executives, and senior management. Because you need an extra layer of cybersecurity that I almost guarantee you are currently not getting. Why do you need that extra layer of cybersecurity? And why a focus on specifically you is so critical? Well, because first, you are the cyber whale with full access to all your digital crown jewels. The things that could tarnish or destroy your and your organization's reputation, financial wealth, data and intellectual property, and emotional and physical stability if breached, stolen, ransomed, or aired to the outside public. Second, you face much more sophisticated threats from nation states all the way down, right? Third, your reputation equals your organization's reputation, and vice versa. Harm one, you harm the other. Fourth, your cyber insecurity is far higher than your employees because your daily life operates against a much larger set of headwinds, right? Fifth, cybersecuring you creates an amazing ripple effect throughout your organization as you lead by example and thus become the cybersecure culture standard bearer you ought to be for your team at work and your loved ones at home. Sixth, you're cyber insecure by design because technology is so, as it climbs its innovation curve. Seventh, you are busy and therefore don't pay enough attention to your cybersecurity and are therefore easy prey for hackers. And finally, because your organization generally doesn't sufficiently protect you, usually because of insufficient cybersecurity expertise, budget, or organizational policies, even if you're a large corporation. And so with that said, as you participate in the summit, I invite you to further think of your organizational VIP cybersecurity as composed of your cybersecurity as a professional, as a private citizen, and as a family. Because your and your board's and your executive team's private life's vulnerabilities are increasingly being exploited to attack your organization, and you along with it, especially as you work remotely from your less secure home environment during COVID. Hi, my name is Andrzej Cetnarski, and I'm a Harvard, Wharton, and University of Chicago trained national security and cybersecurity tech innovation, regulatory policy, and organizational strategist, former technology and defense investment banker, serial entrepreneur, and now CEO of cyber defense ecosystem, Cyber Nation Central, and executive producer of the VIP Cybersecurity Blueprint. Over the last 5 years, I've had the incredible privilege of helping hundreds of leaders globally take control of their and their organization's cybersecurity as board director, advisor, and through our VIP Cybersecurity Blueprint, as well as through our FireEye-backed 24/7 Security Operations Center. After suffering a breach and a disinformation campaign against my own board in the first venture I ever led as chairman and CEO, and after Hillary Clinton's 2016 presidential campaign was hacked and confirmed on a global scale that hacking executive VIPs can cause catastrophic personal and organizational downfalls. And after consulting with former Secretary of Defense Bill Perry on the issue, I decided to make cybersecurity of private and government sector leaders like you and your organizations my mission. So in 2016, I started building CyberNation Central, a cyber defense ecosystem providing you and other leaders with 4 service areas. First, executive training that teaches you executive cybersecurity and countering disinformation campaigns. Second, cybersecurity advisory, focusing on organizational strategy, tech innovation, and regulatory policy. Third, live breach incident response execution to nation-state level attacks through our FireEye-backed 24/7 Security Operations Center. And fourth, investment opportunities into cybersecurity technologies of US and Israel. This mission earned me an invitation in 2017 to spend a year at the Harvard Kennedy School of Government to pursue cybersecurity policy, earning a mid-career master's in public administration with a concentration in national security and cybersecurity, focused on tech and policy innovation while also studying homeland defense, disinformation campaign strategy, and crisis management. There, I developed the vision for what today has become the market's first ever 360-degree VIP cybersecurity blueprint. With its 360-degree executive cybersecurity framework and corresponding certification program, this executive training and coaching program covers everything from the threats you're facing, most cybersecure technologies and behavioral best practices, geopolitics affecting your choices, as well as your travel cybersecurity. And it does so for you as your organization's leader, private citizen, and family. It is my honor and privilege to have CyberNation Central co-host and for me to personally welcome you to this year's America's Future Series International Cybersecurity Innovation Summit. Among my co-hosts and other speakers, what you will hear me talk about with world leaders covers a range of issues, from individual cybersecurity of executive teams as the match that can burn the entire house down, and along with it, all the legacies that are being created, to successful cybersecurity ecosystem creation at a nation-state level, as I bring friends and colleagues from across the world and across the private and government sector to our discussion. And as a token of our appreciation for taking your and your organization's cybersecurity seriously, I invite you to take advantage of CyberNation Central's Cybersecure 10,000 Leaders campaign and its complimentary 1-hour executive cybersecurity training. This breach prevention training is tailored to private and government sector organizational VIPs like you and is based on our 360-degree VIP cybersecurity blueprint that has served hundreds of leaders globally, from senior UN officials and heads of state to global CEOs, board directors, and entrepreneurs. The complimentary training is made available especially for you as an attendee of the summit. To take advantage of it, go to www.vipcb.cyberfrontiers.com/ICIS and register there. And once you've gone through the training, you will have a much more acute understanding of all the topics we will discuss during the summit, across all keynotes, panels, and fireside chats, and you will never look at your organizations, your families, your boards, and executive teams' cybersecurity the same way again. And if you would like a free consultation with our FireEye-backed 24/7 Incident Response Security Operations Center, you can schedule one at www.vipcb.cyberfrontiers.com/cyberoptive. A culture of cybersecurity indeed starts at the top, which is why it is such a privilege for me to introduce our next speaker, fellow cybercrime warrior who leads his country's response to cyber threats, fellow servant leader for the people of his nation, fellow Harvard Kennedy School Public Administration alumnus and friend, the esteemed Commissioner of Cybersecurity for Singapore and Chief Executive of Singapore's Cybersecurity Agency, Mr. David Koh. As Commissioner, Mr. Koh has the legal authority to investigate cyber threats and incidents to ensure that essential services are not disrupted in the event of a cyber attack. Concurrently, as chief executive of the cybersecurity agency, he leads Singapore's efforts to provide dedicated and centralized oversight of national cybersecurity functions. These include enforcing cybersecurity legislation, strategy and policy development, cybersecurity operations, ecosystem development, public outreach, and international engagement. Mr. Koh also sits on the boards of the Government Technology Agency, Defense Science and Technology Agency, Defense Science Organization, National Laboratories, and the Monetary Authority of Singapore Cybersecurity Advisory Panel. Prior to his current appointments, Mr. Koh served in the Singapore Armed Forces and the Ministry of Defense, where he held numerous command and staff appointments. He was most recently the Deputy Secretary for Special Projects and Defense Cyber Chief, where he was responsible for leading and coordinating cyber defense policy, capability development, and operations for Singapore's defense cluster. Mr. Koh is the recipient of the first Billington Cybersecurity International Leadership Award and has also been awarded the Commendation, Bronze, Silver, and Gold Public Administration medals. He is an alumnus of the Master's Program in Public Administration at the Harvard Kennedy School and holds a bachelor's degree in Electrical and Electronics Engineering from King's College in London. Please join me in welcoming the esteemed Commissioner and friend, Mr. David Koh, and once again, welcome to America's Future Series International Cybersecurity Innovation Summit.
Distinguished speakers and guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is indeed my pleasure to be invited to deliver a keynote at the 2021 International Cybersecurity Innovation Summit. This is a timely effort that brings together diverse stakeholders to meet, exchange ideas, and possibly explore new partnerships in the realms of cybersecurity and space. We witnessed the first manned landing on the moon about half a century ago. This milestone in human history captured the imagination of an entire generation. Since then, the application of space technologies has grown tremendously from a domain that was explored predominantly by a small group of larger countries and bigger industry players, and something that was largely experimental. Space today is a growing industry involving a wide range of both large and small stakeholders, and estimated at more than $420 billion worldwide. This has also brought about the evolution of many mainstream capabilities with applications in daily life, such as the Global Positioning System, GPS, weather prediction, and satellite broadcast. In fact, these space capabilities are now indispensable to our daily lives. Just imagine having to refer to a printed map to find our way around a new city or find the best hiking trails, instead of checking Google Maps on our phones. My wife and I have fond memories where we depended on AAA and their triptychs as we explored around the US in our earlier life. But today, life has changed and we're dependent on things like GPS. Thanks to increased accessibility through trends such as miniaturization and affordable launch systems, there are now more new entrants than ever before that are active in this space, pun unintended. This has paved the way for the democratization of space. Bigger countries, large multinational corporations that had traditionally dominated space investments, given the high barriers to entry and the long technology gestation periods, these are now a thing of the past. Space is no longer just accessible to them, but for smaller countries like Singapore as well, and also commercial startups. Singapore sees space as a strategic sector that we can harness to serve our national priorities. This includes supporting our aviation and maritime industries, as well as understanding and mitigating the impact of climate change on our small island nation. We plan to support the growth of our local space research and industry ecosystem, with a particular focus on the growing small sat and satellite services market. These efforts will be led by Singapore's National Space Office, the Office for Space Technology and Industry, AUSTIN for short. As we look to build on the opportunities, we should also not overlook the potential risks that come along with it. The increasing dependency on space technologies can put us in a potentially precarious position, as these technologies are also vulnerable to cyber attacks, which could lead to large-scale and potentially catastrophic effects. And just like the need to ensure robust and resilient cybersecurity for other critical infrastructure that are fundamental to our digital economy and our way of life, there is also a need to mitigate the cybersecurity risks of space applications. As a small and open economy, Singapore has always recognized the need to stay ahead of global trends and developments, to adapt and position ourselves for the digital world of tomorrow. We also recognize that governments do not have all the answers. So as the saying goes, if you want to go fast, you can go alone. But in order to go far, we have to go together. I'm happy to say that Singapore has embraced this philosophy by partnering industry, research institutes, as well as academia to strengthen our cybersecurity capabilities through innovation. Our National Cybersecurity R&D program plays a key role in supporting this effort. By developing R&D expertise in cybersecurity, coordinating whole-of-government priorities and the approach, as well as providing common platforms for R&D collaboration among the relevant stakeholders, both domestically and internationally. This has served to improve the trustworthiness of our cyber infrastructure with an emphasis on security, reliability, resilience, and usability. Singapore will continue to invest in building these capabilities, including cybersecurity in space. Our cybersecurity industry call for innovation is another example of supporting cybersecurity innovation. Industry providers are encouraged to develop innovative solutions to address specific cybersecurity challenges. This catalyzes the development of innovative cybersecurity as well as strategic needs with the potential for commercial applications. As a result, we are seeing a growing, vibrant local cybersecurity ecosystem, both in new capabilities as well as in talent. The sophisticated problems put forth by some of these companies have provided opportunity to innovate and push the boundaries for cybersecurity development. Industries that have benefited thus far include those from the operational, technology, medical, and maritime sectors that are looking into advanced areas such as active defense in operational technology systems, user behavioral data access monitoring, and anomaly detection in autonomous vehicles. So far, we have not seen anyone come to us with ideas on cybersecurity for space technologies, but we hope this will happen soon, sooner rather than later. Singapore recognizes that space today is an important part of the global commons, just like the digital and cyberspace. Space is important for global connectivity and awareness and can help facilitate the economic sustainability and security interests of countries worldwide. Therefore, while it is important to build a collaborative cybersecurity innovative ecosystem through the public-private partnerships, it is also crucial for the international community to come together to support a rules-based multilateral order for space, just like we do in cyberspace. With the democratization of space, the space environment has somehow become more congested, with more stakeholders involved, often with diverse objectives and varying capabilities. Although there exist some structures and norms from the international legal regime for space that was drawn up in the 1960s, we may need new rules and norms to keep up with the technological developments and the new issues such as space debris, mega constellations that increase the risk of in-orbit collisions, and spectrum interference, especially as space grows in importance for our economies and societies. The need for collective effort of the international community, including countries large and small, as well as commercial enterprises, to come together to share best practices, co-create practical measures This will enable us to seize the new opportunities in a responsible manner and ensure that space developments are used for the well-being and benefit of all mankind. Singapore is taking steps to be part of this international conversation. Last year, we participated at the UN Committee on the Peaceful Uses of Outer Space, COPUS, as a new member. Singapore is also an active member of the Committee on Space Research, COSPA, and we will continue to play host to and contribute meaningfully to important discussions about space in our region as well as at home. Our gathering here today shows that we are united in the common vision of harnessing the potential of space to improve the lives of people, create new opportunities for our countries and businesses to benefit all mankind. But just as space is boundless, this itself is an enormous task that no one country, no one agency can achieve by itself. So by working together to build global collaborative networks across public and private sectors, I am confident that we will be able to push the technological frontiers in space while at the same time fostering security, trust, and resilience to build a brighter future for all of us. I wish all of you a fruitful time at this summit and that you may forge many friendships and generate many new ideas. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. How are you today? We're very happy to have had Andrzej Cetnarski share his remarks and wisdom, and also that of Dr. Ko of Singapore's Directorate of Cybersecurity. We're really thrilled to have people from around the globe participating in this. And I want to thank Andrzej in particular for helping arrange that and for contributing to this program and helping be one of the two hosts for the day.
Yeah, it really is. So many you think of America's Future Series. This isn't just what's taking place here in the good old US of A. And as you just said, it is global. And that's, again, I salute you, David, for reaching out to people like that, like Andrzej and what have you, that can have the wherewithal that they can go out and touch some of these people and say, jump on board. We've got something very special here. We want to share with what's going on with those that are involved with this on a day-to-day basis. So I just, again, this is not something that I'm that familiar with on a day-to-day basis, but it was fascinating to listen to some of them and say, oh my gosh, I never knew that. Or, wow, is that ever, it just, I think that's great. So, yeah. So well done.
Well, and I think it fits with the America's Future Series ethos, which is while we may be a bit America first,
right,
we are not at all America alone.
Right.
We recognize that we and our allies together must remain the strongest military, political, and economic powers in the world.
Absolutely.
The day that is no longer true is probably a bad day for the entire free world.
No question.
Right. And so we have this sort of somewhat humorous way of saying it, but I think it's true. It's important. We do not want to move the needle on innovation. We would like to break the needle off in the backside of our near peers,
right,
who are very, very serious about this. They are very, very serious about cybersecurity in particular. The Chinese alone have far more computer scientists graduating every year with cyber and other computer degrees, if you will, and capabilities, than we have graduates of all degrees combined. So they're producing more engineers than we have all degrees combined. So just on a numbers basis, it's important, therefore, that we ally with India, with Europe, with the Israelis and others, people in Australia, et cetera, that we have to not only be smarter ourselves and more innovative, et cetera, but we have to find ways to collaborate and support each other.
Absolutely.
So I'm very, very thrilled to have had Dr. Ko join us, and I really appreciate his sentiments.
Yep. Totally. Very interesting.
So to that end, I want to interject something we didn't really plan on. So we want to issue a cybersecurity challenge. So this is a tease, and you'll get more information about it later, right?
Okay.
This is something you guys professionally do.
A game show of sorts.
Yes, I guess this is a tease. So we have some friends with an organization called C-HEAR, C-HEAR, and they have a particular file that you can put information in and protect, et cetera, and they're issuing a challenge. They're going to give people an opportunity to try to hack that file and test its security. When we want the people from the DOD and white hat types, et cetera, NSA, whomever, private citizens, et cetera, we're going to give people an opportunity. So stay tuned for more information on this. But you're going to have an opportunity to try to hack this file and get the information out of it. And if you do, you win $1,000.
And trust me, there's enough people out there that would love to be a part of something like this. So
Yes,
I don't think there's going to be any shortage.
yeah, there's, and I
those
don't, I
involved.
don't care what country you come from. I don't care. Around the world, anybody wants to, you're eligible to try to hack this file. And if you're unsuccessful, $1,000 is going to go to the Army Scholarship Foundation, to a worthy student, either this military person, a veteran, or
So
one of the
we
children.
hope you're unsuccessful.
We
even
hope that
though
you're
we'd love to-
unsuccessful.
Right.
If you're successful, you will have taught these people something, right? They will have
Right.
learned where their weaknesses are, right? So I think
Right.
that's kind of brave of them to say, okay, one, we trust our technology and
Right.
et cetera enough. And two, hey, if you hack us, we're going to learn from that, right? So be on the lookout for this see here CHIF. The name of the file is a CHIF file,
Okay.
this CHIF challenge. And if you're interested in that, you'll see stuff on our website. But we're going to get a chance to make some money to help improve cybersecurity. Maybe money goes to charity. We think money's going to go to charity because we don't think you guys are going to hack it, but we'll see.
No, I think there's enough people out there that think they can hack it. So
Yeah.
this is going to be really interesting
This
to
will
see
be
what
fun.
happens.
Absolutely. So we have a few minutes, I think, before our next presentation, before our next
All right.
program with Lieutenant General Harry Radegui,
Right.
co-host of this event today, and his team, et cetera. So what I like to do is just let everybody take a break. Every now and then people need to take a bio break or go get a sandwich, whatever. So we thank you for being here today. We have more to come. Please reach out to us if you'd like to be involved in future events, and go to americasfutureseries.com, Americas with an S, futureseries.com, to sign up for the remaining two programs, the National Security Pitch Day, as well as the Defense Innovation Summit that finish out the month for us here.
Good. We'll see you shortly.